going to follow up with Jaime DeLeon. Keep that energy up, y'all. Keep that energy up.
So my brother, who is an avid biker, invited me on a 100-mile charity bike ride sponsored by the Chicago Cubs from Wrigley Field to Miller Park in Milwaukee. One-way ride. So when he asked me to do it, I was not an avid biker. I was not even a recreational biker. I didn't even own a bike at the time. So, of course, I said, hell yeah, let's do this. I ain't no punk. 100 miles ain't nothing. And he was like, okay, relax, bro. You got to come training with me and my friends on the weekends, right? My brother would do 30 to 40-mile bike rides every weekend. I was like, yeah, whatever. And so I went one time in like 6 to 8 weeks that we had to train. And I quickly realized, like, I was in some serious trouble, right? But I had already paid the registration fee. I was not going back. So the day arrived, and it was really exciting because we were at Wrigley Field. You know, we were getting our numbers. We had our cute little commemorative tight biker jerseys, which I had never worn before. You know, took a selfie, posted that shit real quick. And then we took off. And the first part of the ride was amazing. We actually got to ride through Wrigley Field inside, and then we rode through these really nice north side neighborhoods I didn't even know existed. I'm from the south side, too. I was like, well, this is gorgeous. As soon as we got, like, outside of the city, the herd just spread out, right? Like, we had been all together. There's 300 riders. And then people just took off. And I was riding at a pace that I thought was comfortable for myself, right? Let me explain something. There was all kinds of people on this bike ride. Not everybody was an avid bike rider. There was like 70-year-old grandpas, 13-year-old girls, really fat people, and they were all passing me up, all right? A pregnant woman, a guy with no legs, right? Look at me in disgust. About an hour or two later, I found myself all by myself, right in the middle of Wisconsin. But I couldn't see anybody in front of me. I couldn't see anybody behind me, okay? I started cramping up so bad that I had to pull over, rub my legs, drink a little water or Gatorade, and get back on my bike. That happened 3 times, right? I got lost 3 times. Signage was horrible, right? The second time I got lost was like at a designated break. There was designated breaks. So this was the designated break at mile 50, right? I don't even know how I got there. Mile 50. I'm leaving the break. I'm so mentally fatigued that I don't know what I'm doing, right? So I miss a turn. And I end up riding my bike half an hour in a huge circle. Ended up right back at that same damn break area, right? Like, I don't know if you guys remember being little kids and feeling so frustrated that you couldn't do something, you just cried, right? Like, that's how I felt, right? Like, I just started crying, right? But I kept on going. Somehow I got to mile 75. And I was like, okay, cool. This is a nice break area. I can take care of my diarrhea right here. But then I noticed this huge, fancy-ass bus. That bus was there to take people to Milwaukee who didn't feel they can continue, right? The emergency. And I stared at this bus for like 5 minutes. Like, I just wanted to get on this bus so bad, right? I was like, do I get on and like salvage what's left of my body and my mind? or do I keep going and keep my reputation as a badass intact? So I said, screw it, I'm going to keep going. I made it to the final rest area. And somehow I caught a second wind. I really didn't think this was possible. I think it was because the sign said 8 miles to Milwaukee. And I was like, wow, that's really doable, like 8 miles. I've come this far. Let's do this! So I pushed even harder, caught up to these 2 girls, right? Pretty. And then, like, before I know it, I could see Miller Park, right? And I could see the lights. The game had already started, because this is 12 hours later, folks. Okay? So I was like, I did it! I was feeling so good. We were having such good conversation. We all overshot the turn to get into Miller Park. This was the 3rd time I had gotten lost, right? So we passed up Miller Park by at least 2 miles. The theme is, I literally did extra miles, right? That's the theme, but I did it for no reason. It was a 100-mile bike ride. I think I did like 120 if you add up all the times I got lost. I turned back with thank God I was with these women who were smarter than me. We turned back, and in about half an hour, we finally make it to Miller Park, okay? I was like, holy crap, I made it. I rode 100 miles to Milwaukee. And so, like, that sense of pride got squashed really quickly because every participant had a bin with their number on it to put your stuff in it during the ball game. You got to watch the ball game at Miller Park, Cubs and Brewers. And so I noticed there was only 5 bins left, which meant I was in the bottom 294 of all the people that had ridden this ride, right? I felt really ashamed. But I was really happy that I finished the ride. Thank you, everybody.